And we are live.
Awesome. And welcome to episode 55 of TLC Tech Learn Coffee, now powered by Q. I'm your host, Lisa Nowakowski. I'm a fifth grade teacher in South Monterey County here in California.
And I'm Nancy Minicozzi, an instructional tech coach in Northwest LA County. And just a reminder, we have a 15-minute format because ain't nobody got time for more than that.
So this week for our fun coffee fact, we actually have a coffee quiz to test your knowledge of coffee. So we'll post that link in our notes for you. Just so you know, personally, I got 12 out of 13. I thought that was pretty good. Nancy, what'd you get?
I may have gotten 100%.
Which would be why she's Coffee Nancy. Yes. And Amber, did you have a chance to take it as well?
I did not. I'm sorry. I will take it right after this.
Not a problem. We're just going to share out our scores and have fun. So tonight's guest is Amber Harper, not Ashley. That was my fault. Who will be talking to us about staying burned in. So Amber, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, your passions.
Sure, absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm so grateful to be here to talk about Burned In Teacher, which was my Google Innovator project after I started the blog and really wanted to take it further and help as many people as possible. So I really appreciate you having me on tonight. Personally, I'm a wife to an amazing husband and a mom to two wonderful girls and a super annoying English bulldog who I love and hate at the same time. But professionally, I am currently a Google trainer and innovator, a Seesaw ambassador, a Future Design School local activator. All of that has come about after I have taught for 12 years in public education. I taught first, second, and third grade over the course of about 12 years. I burned out and quit once and then returned to the classroom where I found my passion to be educational technology and integration into the classroom. And I'm currently an educational technology consultant in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I'm a burned out teacher coach, as you will see if you jump onto burnedinteacher.com. So my mission over the past few years, as I started blogging, whenever I was going through burnout again after I quit and then came back, I found my passion in ed tech at an ed tech summit in Franklin, Indiana. And I started burnedinteacher.com the next day. This was back in 2016. And it's all about helping teachers, blogging about my own experiences and helping teachers to start taking some actionable steps and to make decisions about their career in an effort to help them be happier and more fulfilled.
Wow. Talk about just jumping. That's amazing. That's a great story.
Thank you. So in the past year, like I said, especially since Google Innovator, that was my project. I had started the blog and had been blogging for about a year. And I took all on my own. I went from 0 to Google Educator Certified, then Google Trainer. And then I'm like, what the heck? I'm going for this Innovator thing. I want that badge and I want to know what all the hype is about. So I had this blog already started, and so I kind of passion smashed it, is what I kind of say, with my love of ed tech, with my passion for these educators that have this enormous problem with anxiety and discontent. And so that's where Burned In Teacher has really taken off for me and for its followers and its members.
That's awesome. I love your energy. It's such great
Thank you.
Energy. What do you mean by burned in? What does that mean?
Okay, so when I first started the blog, all it was about was really just going from burned out to going burned in, because I had found that passion, was just so excited about my life every day at school. After I came back from that conference, I found my niche. I found this huge thing that I wanted to learn about, which was ed tech and Google. And I just found this enormous community on Twitter. I went to Dave Hotler's session on Twitter, and I was so burned in when I came back, and I bought the domain and turned it into a blog. But then over the years, I thought, how can I take this to the next level to really serve teachers who are going through this enormously isolating problem of burnout? So Burned In actually turned into an acronym. And I'll tell you the first couple of letters, and then you can go to burnedinteacher.com and go to my Burned In blog. And I've actually blogged over the last couple of months about each letter. And then I have a summative blog post about, what that whole movement, that Burned In movement is. So B actually stands for begin where you are. So really assessing your current situation and seeing how long you've been in this place, both physically and emotionally. And then U stands for understand you, or understand yourself. So this piece is all about really getting to know your strengths and your personality type through assessments and not assumption. Because a lot of teachers kind of self-classify themselves as a type A personality, which in reality is a terrible recipe for burnout. Do you know what a type A personality is really classified as?
No.
Not technically, no.
So in the Burned In blog, a year ago, I was interviewing teachers and actually typing out the interviews anonymously. Well, the teachers that I interviewed were anonymous, and they kept telling me that they were type A. And so I finally looked it up, and here's the Business Dictionary definition. It's a temperament characterized by excessive ambition, aggression, competitiveness, drive, impatience, need for control, focus on quantity over quality, and unrealistic sense of urgency. It is commonly associated with risk of coronary disease and other stress-related ailments.
Not something you really want to qualify yourself as, right?
Not at all. So I read that definition, and I'm like, this is the problem. Like, people, are defining themselves as type A, as these outgoing, ambitious people, but there are all of these underlying pieces that are just not flattering to our profession. And no wonder we're putting so much stress on ourselves, because we're so competitive, if not with other teachers or other professionals, we're competitive with ourselves. And I know exactly what that's like, because I go through that, or I went through it, especially as a teacher, but I still go through it today. But knowing that definition now, I'm like, I don't want to be a type A personality. I want to be honest and open and listen to feedback and get better and help others and help myself. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really great thing to point out, that is this really what we want to be? And for most of us, it would probably be no, not so much.
I don't want to have a coronary disease over my personality type, really.
No. I like how you talked about like finding your passion and that desire to learn and to learn more. And I think that's something that, excuse me, many of us forget.
Mm-hmm.
We're just so bogged down with so many of the things that our district wants us to do.
Absolutely.
Why is it important to remain burned in?
Well, through my experience and research, and through the innovators interviews that I conducted with other people, I found that there are countless reasons for burnout, because it's really personal. And where it becomes the most important for teachers to really remain true to themselves as human, we need to remain true to ourselves as humans, not just as educators, because we're all different. We're all strong and passionate about different things and in different places in our lives. We all have led different lives in the past, and we're leading different lives now. So if we aren't honest with ourselves when we either desire in our hearts for a change, or we really need to make a change because we need to leave a situation that really isn't healthy for us, that's where the problem starts, is where we start telling ourselves, well, I can't leave this school. I've been here for 10 years. Well, yes, but you're crying in your car every day before you get out to teach these children. So, we're at that battle with ourselves with, well, this is where I am. This is what I've always done. We have to make it okay for ourselves to really get to know where we are now and look at where we want to go.
Very good point. And yeah, change is really scary. And sometimes it's better to sit with the misery that than what the possibilities that are out there, which might be worse.
Yeah.
Most of the times they're not.
Right. Absolutely. And it is scary. And when you step into the unknown and you don't know where that journey is going to take you, especially if you're doing it alone, it's especially scary. There are a lot of teachers that I interviewed last year that mentioned that they hadn't really talked to anybody about it. They were totally going through this in isolation, and that made me so extremely sad. And that was one reason that I decided to take Burned In Teacher to the next level, was to serve them.
So how can our listeners take the steps to become burned in?
Sure. So there are a couple of things you can do. I have a burn on challenge that you can actually sign up to take. It's at bit.ly/BIT challenge. That is actually a mini version of what my burned in teacher project was going into the innovator program or the cohort last summer. It started off as this huge, big program, and it was just too big and too much and too time intensive. So what I did is I kind of narrowed it down to the 6-day challenge just to get people understanding what it is that the mission is. And it's a series of just 6 super short emails with a 1-minute video and a roadmap that they kind of get just to, get themselves thinking about where they are and where they want to go. Right now for the Burned In community, although I plan on having it be within the Burned In teacher site by September. Right now we have a private Facebook group that you can join at bit.ly/BIT group. We have almost 100 educators in there right now that are just supporting one another, listening to each other, just knowing that we are there as a group to support each other through this problem with burnout. We have serious conversations. Every Wednesday I do a live for 5 where I go live and answer a question or discuss a topic that one of the members has brought up, and we get pretty deep. So it's really talking about those things that really need to be discussed, because they are the things that we either A, keep in our heads and our hearts and stew over them, or B, we talk about them with people that we think that we can trust and they view us as negative. So really the Burned In group is really to offer solutions, not just a shoulder to cry on. And the Burned In blog is all about my journey with burnout. And of course, there are interviews from a year ago that are going to turn into actual podcast interviews by the end of the summer, hopefully getting started by September 1st at the latest. I do offer a 2-month group or one-on-one burned out teacher coaching through the Burned In program. So that's something too that people can check out as well on the website.
So many ways to become burned in. What an amazing thing that you have created.
Thank you.
What kinds of resources are available to teachers who are struggling with this in addition to your burned in things?
Sure. Yeah. So actually that's where Burned In Teacher came from. When I was struggling with burnout and just really sad and really depressed and feeling like I didn't want to talk to anybody because I didn't want to put that weight on them, I Googled it like crazy. I went to YouTube. I searched the term burned out teacher. I don't want to teach anymore. I want to leave teaching. Why do I feel this way? There are tons of articles out there written by a lot of noteworthy writers and companies that, for teachers that really do have good advice on how to identify burnout and how to solve it. But where I really have become passionate about this whole community idea for Burned In Teacher was there is no community. There's no place that I have found either online or in person, other than going to my own psychiatrist myself, where teachers can get together and really talk about their struggles and offer each other solutions. But there are some good articles out there that you can read to see if this is even exactly what it is you're going through. And I can tell you just from Googling the term I'm burned out, education is not the only profession where people get burned out.
That's a really good point. Yeah. So it looks like we have a little bit of time.
Sure.
So do you want to tell the story of names and chainsaw?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So when so it was funny that you accidentally called me Ashley the other day on Twitter, because my WDC cohort buddies, they thought it was hilarious. And they said, you have to tell the story of chainsaw. So I met a couple of who are good friends of mine now at the airport in Indy. And is that our 14-minute mark?
That's our 14 minutes. You have 1 minute.
1 minute.
I'm dying to hear this story, so go.
So I met Eddie Small and Chris Young at the airport in Indy, and I I got some coffee. I'd introduced myself. We knew each other's names. Went and got coffee from Starbucks. And when I told them Harper, I typically like to go by my last name, but when I told them Harper, they misheard me and wrote Parker. So when I went and sat down, we were waiting for our flight. The guys were like, "Okay, so your name is Amber, but you don't mind if people call you Harper, but why does your cup say Parker?" And I was like, I told them they just wrote the wrong name. I said, "But I go by many names. It's crazy." And they were like, "Go on." So I said, "Well, my husband thought it would be hilarious when he was signing us up for a Costco membership to tell them my name was Chainsaw." So I told these guys when we were just waiting for our plane, they thought it was hilarious, and I thought it ended there, and it didn't end there. And so everyone from the cohort identifies me as Chainsaw. So like in our hangout chats, when we're texting, or we're on, anytime that we're talking, they're like, "Yeah, how's it going, Chainsaw?" Or there are gifts galore. And it's just a really good memory. But so I have my husband to thank for that.
That's a good story.
That is so funny. And there is actually a website called whatsmystarbucksname.com where you type in, I think we referenced it in one of our previous episodes. I think the one with Micah Shippey.
So
you type in your name, and it gives you like what alternate names that would be on your Starbucks cup.
I love it. It's definitely a fun story to tell.
I love that. So we should, for our featured image, we should have had a chainsaw.
Oh,
we should have.
I'm sure they would have loved that.
Well, we want to thank all our listeners for listening and our viewers for watching us this evening. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a comment to let us know. And tonight's comment question is, what are your summer plans? So join us on Monday, July 2nd, fresh off of ISTE for many of us, when we'll have a really special guest.
Yes, and please don't forget to subscribe to hear more about easy ways for you to innovate in your classroom. If you like the show, and of course, why wouldn't you? Amber was awesome, as are all of our guests. Please rate us and leave a review on iTunes, because that helps people find us. Remember, we are always looking for guests to share the great things they're doing in their classrooms. So if you know someone who fits the bill, or maybe it's you, please visit our website at tlc.ninja and complete the contact form to let us know. Thanks for watching and listening.